Okay, so welcome and thank you for being part of the MWMA conference. We're looking forward for this California style fireside chat.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
So I'm pleased to welcome Samaha Group founder and CEO Sam Samaha and the Samaha team with us today, as well as our strategy officer, Lisa Saldivar. So Lisa, I understand you are launching an exciting new project in West Texas. Can you talk about it?
Hello? Nope, not working. Yes, actually, yeah, one of them more. It's actually an interesting area. It is often overlooked, which is unfortunate because it is strategically positioned logistically and has a great workforce.
So can you tell us about the research in the service area that you've done and the size of the plant you're looking for?
Yeah, the research has been an interesting aspect of this in the sense that due to its strategic location to the fourth largest interstate in the US, and it has an upgraded intermodal facility, it's going to help us to address one of the major issues in Texas, which is scrap tires. Due to this area, we will be able to process more than 10 million scrap tires annually.
10 million scrap tires annually. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry, what was the footprint for this project?
It is approximately 70 acres, and that's for the entire project, which has different technology than just waste to energy. Processing of the scrap tires will allow us to incorporate additional technology, which is high-value rubber powder that we will create with a two-phase cryogenic process.
And what are the employment opportunities at this facility?
So the employment opportunities, and that's a great question, are 300 to 400 short-term employment opportunities for construction jobs that will last approximately 3 years, and 480 long-term employment opportunities for skilled, semi-skilled, and unskilled labor.
So Sam, when do you believe this plant will be coming on board and operating?
As soon as someone wants it.
But you have all the tires you need? Or from
All should be soon in near future, in the next 24 months.
Okay. So I know you have mentioned you're looking at diverting about 93% of the landfill incoming waste. So how does that translate in real terms into extending the life of the landfill?
It will extend the life of that particular landfill greater than 100 years.
Wow. Okay. And have you done any calculation on the greenhouse gas emissions and the benefits of that to the environment?
Yes, actually, one of the things that our research led us to was when we initially started looking at the diversion of up to 93% of the waste, we found that by 2058, it would divert approximately 21.6 million metric tons of carbon dioxide. There's nothing we can do about waste that's already landfilled and is generating greenhouse gas, but by offsetting any future waste that will be landfilled, that will also help to offset future greenhouse gas getting emitted. But the other aspect of this is when we started to do our research, we also looked at the regional needs of the area. One of that being, what are the strategic goals of the utility provider there? And they have their own strategic goals of having a 100% carbon-free energy mix by 2045. So we started looking at what do they need to achieve that. And one of the things they wanted to do was retrofit their current natural gas-fired engines with green or hydrogen burning engines. And of course, this would be over a period of time, but in West Texas, there is no hydrogen storage. I don't know if people are aware or not, but the way large quantities of hydrogen is stored is through underground salt basins. And the nearest one would be Utah, and there's no pipelines. So we have the ability to create not only hydrogen, but green hydrogen through the extraction of wastewater from the municipal solid waste, which is a process we do automatically, and we purify it to agricultural or industrial use just naturally. But what we're going to do is send it through a further process of demineralization, and then that will automatically make it ready to go into what is called a proton exchange membrane electrolyzer. And that will in effect create the green hydrogen necessary that they will require to meet their needs of 100% carbon-free energy mix. And it'll be sustainable and available. We estimate conservatively that we will be able to extract roughly 2 million gallons annually of wastewater, and that will equate to approximately 840,000 kilograms annually of hydrogen. And green hydrogen is the highest value hydrogen out there because it's made without the use of fossil fuels. So it is yet another revenue stream.
And is there a plan to do the same facility in other parts of the country? No?
Every municipality is different. And if a municipality can benefit from having rubber powder production facility, and we're even also going to incorporate a third, actually it would be a fourth technology called thermoplastic elastomer to create another high value revenue stream. And what we will be able to do is we'll take a portion of the rubber powder that we generate through those scrap tires, and we will utilize that rubber powder approximately 60% with a 40% mix of original thermoplastic elastomer material. And that new compound has many applications, one of which is 40% of all TPE produced. It goes to the automobile industry. It's also used in medical device industry as well as roofing industry.
And I thought I heard you say something about the climate. And is there a particular climate that you would like to address? Is it Earth climate or is it?
You know, what we're finding is municipalities, obviously, they range in various areas. So you never know what you're going to have. But what we want to make sure we do is when we go into an area like West Texas, where they have a strong conservation of resources, especially for water, we don't create a demand. We're not coming in using more water out of their aquifers. We're not coming in creating a greater demand on their electricity. We produce our own electricity, and 8% of what we produce is for our own operational needs. So, you know, we really want to make sure that we're cognizant of what our presence will be in that area, and that we're not just taking, but we're giving back.
What has been the most challenge so far that you're facing with this plan?
You want to answer that?
Our passion
Our passion has been our challenge.
to the renewable and give the opportunity to make a better environment and have job opportunity. And I personally, along with my team, has a passion on that. As a matter of fact, we have guests from New York because of that vision. It's, I think, you know, we face things that we really need to give attention. The tires, the burning tires, the need of green energy. And I think we are all one-stop solution.
I think also speaking about the actual day-to-day of presenting the technology and talking about the technology is that people have an inherent idea about waste to energy as being something where it's incineration and or burning or bad for the environment. And it is evolving. The technology that we have is completely non-incineration, no pyrolysis, no combustion. So in the production of syngas, it is completely 100% emission free.
And what kind of best available control technologies are you implementing to capture all the emissions?
Well, there are no emissions with the production of syngas in the main and secondary power generation. The actual, there's all kinds of biofilters, like huge catalytic converters that are in the stacks, but everything meets or exceeds EPA standards.
And can you talk about the residual waste that comes out?
Well, there's no waste that ever goes back to the landfill. If there are items that come to us that have no inherent energy value, like inorganic items like, I don't know, concrete, rocks, glass, metal, those can all go to recyclers, which would be another revenue stream. And there is another aspect. See, the only two items that are actually created through the gasification of waste are high value coke, similar to pet coke, and also syngas. And the coke is another revenue stream as well. And that can go to off takers. It's automatically ready for blast furnaces for steel or cement kilns, or if you put it through a further calcinization process, if it's necessary, because it's very low sulfur, it's automatically ready then for aluminum smelters.
Okay. So if you're on Zoom again, there's a question and you can type your questions and Juby would read it. Also, if we have any questions from the audience, you can raise your hand, and I see Cecile over there. She has a question. Back there.
Good morning. I have a question. Since we live in Southern California, we are the South Coast Air Quality Management District, basically oversees the South Coast Air Basin. So do you think your technology can meet the standards here in Southern California?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, because if by chance we don't already, then we can incorporate whatever's necessary to meet the needs or the standards.
Any other questions?
Hi there, how are you? Ashley from GBB. We've heard a lot about PFAS, PFOA, and the issue surrounding that, and the sort of, dread around what is the solid waste industry going to do. And as we learned yesterday, that there are some technologies that can, segregate and potentially destroy PFAS and PFOA. Is your system a potential solution for this problem?
Yes, because anything that is petroleum based, we would be able to utilize for its inherent energy value. There would not be any issue with it at all. And everything is closed cycle, closed loop. There's never any exposure to the air. Even the waste that comes in never touches land. It doesn't touch the ground. The products that we generate, the coke, that never touches the ground. It's all milled indoors. So it's very, very environmentally friendly.
Well, I will add to all our process is indoor. As you see it on the video we have on the display, you see green, nice park. You don't see anything. And the value of this, I think it's critical. There is further details on the technical model, but we'll be gladly upon anybody's request to set a time where we can meet and do total technical presentation. We've done that in city of Los Angeles about a couple of years ago with Dr. Yeah, in 2020. And they saw the value in there.
Yeah, so as long as there's inherent energy value in it, and most things have that, then it will go through the system and it will be gasified and returned back to its original molecular level and have the energy value. It's gasified. And, the other aspect of, besides municipal solid waste, we also have the solution. We accept many types of special waste. We talked about scrap tires, but we can also accept medical waste. That's through a separate process, and it's sterilized and disinfected before it's added into all of the other waste and processed through the gasification process, as well as sewage sludge, industrial sludge. There's forestry residue, agricultural residue, and dried animal waste from animal farms or, slaughterhouses. There's a wide variety of items that don't necessarily go to the landfill, but they can come to us.
Also, it does help the diversion of the waste and extending the life of the landfill rather than landfill it and topsoil it or whatever they do. Is the value in there diverting the waste in here. You're getting green gas, electricity, and job opportunity. So the value is there, as normally people in public, they consider the waste is value. We're giving you value. Well, we're making that value bigger value rather than bigger problem.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mark Wolfalk, City of Houston. You mentioned that there's no emissions. What's being done to control, or what kind of reagents, or, what are you, scrubbers, or how are you controlling that?
So during the production of syngas, we kind of think of this in multiple phases, but during the production of syngas, there are no emissions because everything's in a closed looped system and there's no exposure to oxygen. So after that, the syngas then is fed evenly and consistently into the main and secondary power generation. The secondary power generation is steam turbines that accept the waste heat from the main power generation. So the steam turbines don't have emissions, and the main power generation is controlled through a variety of ways. Not all of them I'm completely well versed on, but I do know there are also stacks in the power generation building, and inside those stacks that come out of there are, like, for the best way I can describe it, huge catalytic converters in there. And that helps to create the standard. I've noticed that TA Luft is the equivalent of our EPA in Germany. And the engines pretty much come from Germany. All either come from Germany or Austria. And I notice anytime a TA Luft standard is increased or strengthened, about 6 months later, the EPA standards follow, because, and it makes sense that we're getting our engines from there. We have to change our EPA standards to meet theirs.
Thank you.
Hey, I don't see any other questions. Anything else you would like to add to what you heard today from?
Well, I would like to thank the city of Los Angeles, City of Angels. And we look forward to work in our own city and make our environment better and economic and get rid of our landfills.
Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.